Okay. I would say these are the things I would suggest to check out right now. McDonald's bacon and cheese fries. Like they
Yes,
introduced
you've been
all
on
their
that.
their new bacon stuff. The bacon and cheese fries are the jewel in the crown of the new McDonald's offerings, and I don't think they're going to be around actually for long. So those. Also at Wendy's, Wendy's has introduced these three new burgers, which I think are called the craveable burgers, and one of them is like a barbecue, and one of them is like a mushroom type thing. They're all really good. Also, we got a lot of good fish items out because it's Lent. Wendy's has a great fish sandwich that I reviewed a few weeks ago, and I'm also told that the Arby's fish sandwich is terrific. Although I haven't been out there to see it. So, of all the things that are currently out there in the mix, uh, those are like the five, I guess, or five or six that I would recommend.
Interesting fun fact about the bacon cheese fries at McDonald's is the reason that McDonald's has this bacon bumper crop on their menu. They've got the bacon fries. They're adding bacon to the Big Mac for a limited time. The reason that they have that, the reason they're able to buy all this bacon, which is usually too expensive for a fast food inventory, is largely because of the tariff war with China that Trump has, because the Chinese slapped a retaliatory tariff on pork that closed the Chinese market to American pork exports, leaving a huge glut of pork they could only sell domestically, which led the price to plummet. McDonald's swooped in and bought a ton of pork to make all of these bacon items.
That's also why we get the McRib. They claim, although the McRib disappeared in late November, but we did have it for a couple of months back then. And it's like, apparently it is tied to these pork prices because McDonald's purchases things in such vast quantity that they totally swing the commodities markets around when they do it. So anyway, yeah, enjoy the bacon while you can get it.
Yeah.
So you're telling me if you could predict when the McRib was coming back, then you could predict a swing in pork prices.
I'm telling you, there could be like a trading places style manipulation
That's exactly
of the
what I'm
commodities market.
thinking of.
Yeah. There's money to be made, boys.
In this.
The grimaces are cornering the pork belly market.
Oh, that's Virgil. You bring up Grimace, but Bill, who is your favorite or just least favorite or most disturbing fast food mascot or character?
That's a good question. I have to think about it.
I mean, like you mentioned that Burger King is just basically a
terrifying,
a dying
rictus death mask in your face.
Yeah,
right.
But that BK King was very popular, but I found it extremely disturbing.
Hated those commercials. When you wake up and he'd just be staring at you in the bed next to you, what the fuck?
I mean, like that marked for me like an era in American advertising where like all the shit that like Tim and Eric Awesome Show was satirizing
absolutely.
like just became advertising where they're trying to make you feel weird.
It's so amazing. It's like Tim and Eric made that stuff to parody the weird, uncanny feeling of watching commercials and exaggerate it for comedy. And then commercials looked at that and then made it even more like that. It's amazing.
You're totally right. I mean, that's, I have to say that the one character that I like is Mayor McCheese. None of the other characters really stick with me except for Mayor McCheese, who's really dignified. He's classy. He represents also the McDonald's cheeseburger, which is probably my favorite item. I believe he does. He's not the Big Mac guy. The policeman is the Big Mac guy.
Yeah, Big Mac's a cop. I hate him. Fuck that. Fuck that cop.
All Big Mac cops.
All cops are burgers.
Bill, do you remember when McDonald's came out with like a cool, sexy Hamburglar?
Oh yes.
Yeah. That was just like 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
They were like,
I don't remember.
get this. It's the Hamburglar, but you want to fuck him.
He's cool. It was
He's like a cool
he had
hipster
hipster.
dad. He lived in the suburbs, but he's still cool. He's like Beto O'Rourke.
Did he do crimes still?
He only threatened to. They only did one ad where there was like he's in his man cave. It looks like a serial killer movie because he's got a man cave in his garage like Dennis Rader with all of his trophies from when he was the Hamburglar. And then there's a report about how the Hamburglar, where is he? Is he going to come back? And then he grabs his outfit. But then they never had another ad because everyone was like, what the fuck is this? And they're like, yeah, never mind. You guys like the Grimace, right?
No, I love the idea of the Hamburglar coming back for one big score.
Yeah. They never did it. I think they were going to tease like, a narrative where they're doing like a Rafifi style heist with a bunch of burgers, but it never happened.
It's like
I got it. If you Google sexy Hamburglar, you get the full lowdown on this thing, and there's a photo of him, and it's from 2015. Like people were also saying he was kind of a hipster Hamburglar, and I feel like he was another thing that was kind of washed away in the election of 2016. Like that, at least having worked on Portlandia for several years, I felt like the whole hipster thing, you never heard about it again after the election of Donald Trump.
That's true.
Like there was so much like abuse of hipsters and jokes about hipsters and hipster things, and then like I think it just like disappeared. Like
I just think it's like
better things to worry about.
I think it's because hipster, like the word, and it's just one of those like things that if like the definition became so elastic, it just covered like basically every young white person in the country, and like that elastic band has sort of snapped, but it's just been replaced with like SJW.
Well, that's the thing, is because
Snowflake
hipster, the implication of hipster. This is why Gamak McGinnis it was so hard for people to understand him, and why he was able to fly under the radar for so long. It's because he had the appearance of a hipster, and there was an unspoken assumption about hipsters that they were like liberal, that they were like urbanites who were cosmopolitan sophisticates, and at least bog standard liberal to leftists. And so now, when like Trump is president and you've got the eruption of, the seething mass of angry car dads and their shitty sons and MAGA hats, you have to like, no longer is this hipster chunk of white maledom the enemy. It's like you have to have an uneasy alliance with them,
I just think it's like, hipster used to mean like every white person like under 40 who lived in a city.
Yeah.
And now like that, like even that's too specific now. And now it's just every young person in the country of any gender or location.
Yeah.
Millennial replaced it.
Millennial. There you go.
Millennial
Yeah.
took over for hipster.
Yeah, there you go. It's like that's why you see like all the boomer memes about like eating Tide Pods and how, socialism will have you eating rats or whatever. Like that's all, it's all millennial hate. It's just the entire generation now has been hipsterfied.
That's an interesting point, and I actually want to follow up on that in the next part of this. But before we get to that, Bill, I was hoping that you would do us the honor of adjudicating our various fast food controversies.
Absolutely. If there's anything I like to do, it's express opinions about fast food. So shoot.
Okay. First off, as an aside, I just really quickly, I just want to get your Arby's take.
I think I think I did a video about this, but I want to be extremely clear. Arby's has been made fun of for way too long.
By the Simpsons.
Pretty good. Yeah, I didn't. Well, first of all,
sir, I have this clip.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's. Oh my gosh, you really hungry.
I don't think I put those jokes in, but in any case, I hadn't seen the light, really, to be honest, until this year. I was amongst those. And I honestly think that Jon Stewart is to blame for a lot of Arby's being thought of as crappy, because every night he would use it as the punchline of a joke. And like, just because the sound is funny. Arb.
You got a big
the sound
D
of
in
the
there,
word Arb is funny. It's much funnier than saying Burger King or Carl's Jr. because you go Arby's and it somehow tickles your brain in a funny way. But I will say that since I've been doing these fast food reviews, I've been to Arby's 3 or 4 times, and every single time it was terrific.
Preach, preach, preach. Arby's is fantastic. Horsey sauce is the single best condiment available in an American fast food chain.
And they've gotten smart by hiring H. John Benjamin as their mascot.
Yes. And the fucking Euro, delicious.
I would say also they can every month or two they have something new and interesting. Like they had the duck sandwich back in the fall.
Oh yeah,
which I had, and they're always good. So like I think that Arby's is the most underrated, and it's been criminally abused just because of its funny name.
Damn right.
So back to our personal quarrels.
Okay.
First up, my contention that Taco Bell is healthy.
Is there a second side to this?
I think you should elaborate. I think
and
you
it's
should
not
advance
just
your
healthy,
case.
it's healthy and delicious, like a delicious choice, not a last resort.
Well, one, my contention that it's delicious. I mean, I take that as a postulate, basically. Like if you had it,
I agree. I would agree that Taco Bell is delicious. I like it. I didn't put it in my top national chain because I'm really, frankly, partial to hamburgers.
Mm-hmm.
But I always like Taco Bell every time I go there.
I've never had a bad Taco Bell experience.
And is it healthy?
My
My
argument is, as Matt said earlier, an individual dish at Taco Bell will contain vegetables, it will contain dairy, it will contain protein, valuable roughage.
That's true of a hamburger as well.
I think the quantities are higher because you get a Taco Supreme at Taco Bell, you bite into the top of it, you're just eating vegetables. That's a salad.
Bill, I want to be clear here that these disputes that you're adjudicating here aren't really disputes. They're just sort of like
interventions.
They're just sort of edicts that Virgil has issued, to our bafflement and astonishment. So please continue, though.
Okay, Taco Bell, at least up till recently, had that menu, that healthy menu. You remember that?
Oh,
Like
yes.
Fresca,
The cantina style.
Yeah, I don't know if they still have that.
believe
No,
they
they
do.
killed it because they realized people who go to Taco Bell think they're immortal or they want to kill themselves. And either way, they don't want chunks of avocado in their guacamole and all that Chipotle bullshit. If they want that, they go to Chipotle.
Locally,
They want to put a sodium gun to their heads and pull the trigger.
Locally, they still have it, but go on.
This is what I would say. I wouldn't say it's healthy. I would say it could be healthier if you don't overeat. I think the thing about Taco Bell is that when I go there, I'm tempted to have 2 or 3 different things every time.
Yeah.
And so I think if you go there and you were to simply have your bean burrito or your taco supreme, it would probably not be healthy, but it would be less caloric than a meal at Wendy's or McDonald's.
But wait a minute here. Let's try to do as best we can an apples to apples comparison. Let's say you get a Chalupa Supreme and compare that against a Quarter Pounder. What's more nutritional?
Jesus Christ, that's a tough call, man. You're really slicing it.
Because a Quarter Pounder is just meat
Wait a
and
minute,
cheese.
this isn't an argument. You could just look at the nutritional information for the 2 dishes and answer it objectively.
I'm saying you're getting greens. in the
Lettuce
Chalupa.
doesn't really count. Iceberg lettuce doesn't really count as greens,
Not a lot of
man. You know
nutrients
that.
in there.
Yeah,
You know that.
but it still has a regulative effect on your digestive system.
I think
Virgil,
the beans
nothing
are
is
more likely to
regulating
have
your
it.
digestive system, dude.
You have the least regulated
the
digestive
worst
system.
digestive
Your
system.
digestive system is the purge.
Yeah,
Literally.
I have a libertarian digestive system.
By the way, again, argument for the defense here. Virgil said, and we let it pass, I have never had a bad experience with Taco Bell. Yet that does not account to the many, many after effects that your body is still clearly ravaged by.
Yeah.
That is the result
You're just
of
not
Taco
blaming it
Bell.
on Taco
hang on a tick. I find that funny because this is actually this bit that Neil Hamburger does, which is retweet people who say I got diarrhea at Taco Bell, and that's kind of I actually think that has no scientific basis. I think that also has just been a smear, much like the Arby's smear for the past few decades. That Taco Bell, you get diarrhea.
Well, he's Neil Hamburger. He's
Okay.
going at his competitors in the taco
While you
industry.
guys were talking, I looked up the nutrition information.
Thank
and
God. Here we go. Yes.
It's extremely close.
Ooh, interesting.
The McDonald's, the Quarter Pounder has 417 calories. The Chalupa Supreme has 350. The fat and saturated fat are nearly identical. The Jesus Christ, the vitamins. This is really pathetic, guys. Okay, you get a lot more vitamin A in the Chalupa, yes, and you get
okay.
no. Actually, you know what? You get a lot more iron. It depends on your vitamin makeup. You get a lot more iron and a
Do
lot
you
more.
need D or do you need iron? Do you need the D or do you need iron?
I'm going to say that the Quarter Pounder might actually be
Boom.
healthier. You get a lot
Drop
more iron, a lot
upon
more
your
protein
face. Drop
in your Quarter
science.
Pounder.
Science rules. And all right, so there's one other one I alluded to earlier. Sorry about that. The other one that Virgil believes, and that we've yelled at him about over and over again, is that Subway is good. That Subway is a choice to make above other choices for your fucking lunch. Like you would take Subway as a number one option because it's that tasty.
No, that's not my argument.
What?
My argument is, first off, that Subway is categorically fast food, right? So we're going to compare it to other fast food offerings.
Yes.
Within that tier, Subway is objectively the healthiest option without being like, a gross salad or something.
That's correct.
But
There's
you
no
also-
doubt about that.
You think it's
That-
good though?
Yeah, I also think it's good.
completely agree
I think
with that.
It's delicious.
It is I would say there's no okay. As far as I'm concerned, there's no question that Subway is fast food. There's no question that it is healthier, or there's certainly healthier choices to be made at Subway. They have a gigantic menu of fairly healthy things, and if you avoid getting like a lot of unhealthy mayo and stuff on it,
You get
there's
vinegar
like
and olive
20
oil.
different things you can have that are fairly healthy there.
You get
But I don't
vinegar
get
and
those things. I wouldn't want to get those things. I would get those things. If I was on a diet, I would go there. There's no question that Subway is a good place to go if you're on a diet or you want to eat healthy, but you still want fast food. But when I go there, I want to have the meatball sub, which is which is incredibly unhealthy but delicious. That's the only thing there. That's what I crave from Subway, and it's the only thing.
Well, see, so I'm just different in that aspect because when I go, I get the spicy Italian sandwich, which is toasted. It has healthy Italian meats on it.
No, they're not
healthy meat.
And you
Cured
get-
meat is the most carcinogenic type of meat.
And you get a whole handfuls of vegetables of lettuce, tomato, and spinach. You can get spinach on it. Spinach is one of the healthiest things you can eat. And where else are you getting that?
So just eat spinach then.
Yeah, it doesn't cancel out the planks of sodium-enriched, cured meat.
If you really are that health conscious, swap out the cured meat for lean turkey.
Yeah, but you don't do that.
You can get that. That's totally like the dieter's depressing sandwich is the turkey sandwich, and you can absolutely do that at Subway. But like if you weren't concerned about health or fat or whatever, you wouldn't choose to go to Subway, I think.
Absolutely not. Absolutely.
So what's the judgment here? Because I think my contention is clear that Subway is good. I'm not saying like, oh, this is the most delicious thing you can get. Obviously, I'm not saying that. I'm saying on balance.
Yeah. You know what? I would agree with you. Subway
Thank you.
is fairly healthy and it is good, but it's good like it's a 71. It's not like in the 90s, you know? It's just barely. It's good at the very bottom of the definition of the word good.
But is it better than other comparable like sandwich based
Exactly.
No way.
franchises?
No way.
you.
It's not of all the sub sandwich places. It's the worst.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've never argued otherwise. I'm saying just because a Subway is so pervasive. They're like Starbucks. They're everywhere. You're not gonna. Look. We would be having a different conversation